Hey, what's up guys? By popular demand, I've decided to make a cube collection video of, I think I have every cube I have, every puzzle I have, including some here. So, what I'll probably do is go through individually on each puzzle, starting with probably the back right over there. And I'll set this up here so I can use two hands. Alright, here we go. So I think that's a good angle. So I'll just grab, there's a 3x3x2. So let's adjust this. That's pretty good. So the 3x3x2 is by Lan. I'll zoom this out one more. Zoom in. This is by a company called Lan. I bought a bunch of cuboids a few years ago. I would say this thing will definitely never pop. It's very stable, however, you know, it's not extremely fast either. It hardly ever corner cuts, cannot reverse corner cut at all. Cuts a little bit, but it's the only one I have, so I'm not going to compare it to. It's a good cube, it's good to solve. This is my cube for you, 3x3x4. This is my main one, although it's gotten a bit catchy and stiff. I prefer it over my Calvin's one. Sorry, that's not in the view camera. It's alright. Honestly, I prefer a newer one. And this is my Calvin's 3x3x4. It's a lot smoother. Oh, hold on. A lot smoother than the cube for you one. Okay, the problem with this cube is that it does pop very easily. I'm not going to be able to force it. I'm not going to try to force it, but it's very, very smooth, as smooth as I'd like it. The cuts are okay. Reverse, I think reverse is the problem. It can't reverse corner cut. When you try to do it too quickly in reverse corner cut, it does pop a lot of the time. So this is the Calvin's 3x3x5, and I'll say this thing does pop. I did an average with it a few, not a few videos ago, maybe a couple months ago. I can average about like 115 to 120, but it does pop sometimes. But it's very smooth, much more stable than the 3x3x4. This is the WitEden 4x4x2, and one thing I have to say about this puzzle is probably one of my worst puzzles that I have. I don't solve it at all because it's very easy to catch internally, pop. Like every solve I've done, it pops, unless I'm extremely careful, so there's no speed solving this puzzle. And next I have the, what brand is this? I forget. The AE, I don't know if I'm saying that right, 5x5x4. A few years ago I used to practice this a lot. I think I was able to get just around 2 minutes. There was a point where I really liked cuboids. I did nothing but cuboids. I'll probably do that again sometime, maybe in the spring. Just get some new cuboid puzzles and just stay interested in cuboids. But this puzzle really, it doesn't pop at all. It's very smooth. I think it's even better than their 4x4x5. It's even good for just speed solving. This is the AE 4x4x5, and the funny thing is, my original was black. I decided to get white. Well, they only had white, I think, at the time. But my white one works well. It's very smooth. The thing about 4x4x5 is the cutting is almost non-existent. A little bit of cutting. Once you go beyond like half a QIYI, you really can't do it. Reverse, definitely not. However, layers are very smooth. And the black one's not there. Here's the black one. And it's missing a corner is one of the problems, but it wasn't as good as the white one I got. Even though the layers are, sorry, is that the camera? the layers are relatively smooth. It does catch more, so I'm glad I got the white one. This is my WitEden 3x3x6. I heard there's a cubic version of this out that I'm kind of excited to get sometime, but not right now. Turns very smoothly. Does pop sometimes, but it's not... in the beginning it wasn't really easy to. Once I started wearing it out, it does pop more often, but it's still... WitEden puzzles are pretty stable in general. This is the Hunter / Tomz 4x4x6. The layers are a little stiff, but they do move well. I've sometimes had popping issues with this. I think mostly... I'm trying to remember. Mostly the centerpieces sometimes come out. They're not too bad to get back in. But this puzzle is really fun to solve. I think this is still my biggest cuboid, and it does shapeshift. So that's all I gotta say about that. This is the last cuboid I have. This is the 2x4x6. I think it's also made... Is it made by the same place? I don't remember. This one wasn't Hunter, was it? This was just Tomz. This is the Hunter one. Hunter pillowed 2x4x6. I'm sorry about that. Rounded corners. Doesn't really make it easier for grip, but this one also does shapeshift. This one was fun for me for a couple weeks, trying to figure out how to solve it, because it is trickier. Especially these centerpieces, trying to get them solved at the end. At least the method I do it. 3x3. So 3x3. It's not my first 3x3, obviously. This is the Dayan Stickerless, and I have to say that when I first got this cube, the first word that came to my mind was icy. It sounded like ice, and it moved extremely smooth. Not as smooth as it used to move when I got it, but I really loved this cube in the beginning. This is one of the cubes, though, that got worse with time, for some reason. Sometimes stickerless cubes are different from the black cubes, and though they shouldn't be, it's just the color difference, but they're just different sometimes. I don't know why. But it's still a good cube. I solve it every now and then. So going to the regular black Dayan. I remember Dayans were a big deal back in like 2013. Maybe 2012, I don't remember, but 2013 I remember when I got out of college. And I found out that there's this whole new brand of cubes called Dayan. They make cubing just extremely, like, new records are being set after all that. These new cubes came out. So I figured, might as well get back into cubing, because I did kind of stall for a while, and me in college, you're not necessarily going to be cubing all the time, which I definitely wasn't. I was a... Sorry, it's hard to solve while talking. I was a computer science major, so I had I spent a lot of time programming. Didn't have a lot of time for cubing, but if I had time, I would cube a little bit. I had my V cubes. Didn't have a Dayan. I think I had this cube. I should do this one next. This is, I think, a type C2. They definitely don't make this anymore. However, I just do. This cube was a big deal for me when it came out. One of my subscribers suggested I get this, and I'm glad I got it. That deep blue. The colors are very dark, yes, but the cube turns relatively well. It does cut a little bit. Reverse, not much. Really nothing. But the cutting was a new thing for me. because before that my cube was just a regular Rubik's that I modded just a little bit. This is a QIYI Thunderclap I got a few years ago. I used it sometimes. I would get some good times with it. I never really did anything with it though. Just like solving it every once in a while. And again, there it is. So QIYI Thunderclap. Fengshi Shuangren, I believe this is. It's got the F/S logo on the front. Can you see that? Okay. The one thing about this cube is that it was really, really smooth when I got it, but very uncontrollable. I honestly think with magnets, this cube would be great, since this cube came years before magnets, but not only was it fast, but it was white. I really don't like white because the colors just kind of get lost to me. So that's one of the reasons why this was one of the least used cubes for me. This is my GAN 357. I don't know why I got 357. I really didn't like this cube when I got it. When Felix was using GAN, everybody said, oh, I gotta get GAN because that's the cube that makes the difference. It's really not. GAN never really did it for me. At least not with this cube. This thing would pop easily for me. I'm not sure why. But might just be my turning style, I don't know. This is, I really can't remember the name of this one, but it might be a Guhong or Guang something. I really don't remember it, but this is a brown cube, what they call a poop cube. I believe I used this when it was new in my only competition ever. It is a reliable cube. It's a little sluggish compared to some of my other cubes, but I used it because I really thought I'm not going to overturn or underturn with this cube. It's just going to do whatever I mean it to, which is most of the time the case. Let's do this one. This is my trusty MoYu Aochuang V2. This was my main for probably, I don't know how long, 4 or 5 years I think, before I got my new MoYu WeiLong. But this thing is just, it withstood the test of time. It's not magnetic, of course, but I just absolutely love this cube. And this is the newest 3x3 I have, MoYu WeiLong GTS 3LM. And as you can see, it's very fast, magnetic. That's what the M is for. Oh, LM actually. It was way faster than what I was used to. And so I was just not used to the speed, and I would overturn sometimes, especially on M turns. It has slowed down a little bit, which is good. I really am terrible at M moves. Now, if I could solve Ru, which I can't, I'm not even going to try. But I'll just leave it unsolved. Let's go to 4x4, 5x5, I don't know. Let's do 4x4. So this is my newest 4x4. It is my main currently. Trying to remember the name. MoYu Aosu GTS 2. You know what it is. This is the newest MoYu cube. And I really just love it. I've done nothing to it. It's probably put my average down like 5 seconds. I say between 3 and 5 seconds when I'm focusing. Like I'll consistently get in 40s a lot of the time, which before I was getting low 50s on average. But it's just really good for me. It does really well. This is my Shengshou 4x4. And we all know that Shengshou was like one of the loudest cubes you ever had. One of the loudest I ever had. Might be the loudest. Because like the internals sound like there are like 50 internals in here, even though there aren't. It's just like it's really scratchy sounding. And this thing can lock up. When it locks up, it's bad. You have to take the cube apart pretty much, unless you get lucky. I never really thought this cube is a really great cube, but I did use it for a while. This is my QIYI WuShuang. I'm not sure how to say that. This was my main until I got my new 4x4 for probably a couple years. You can see it's a little worn, the stickers, especially the red and white. I don't know, the other stickers seem really okay, but it's a very solid cube. I really had no problems with this cube. So, I mean, it's still a great cube. I could still use it now, but still a bit stiffer than my new MoYu. This is the MoYu Aosu original. This cube is still really smoother than the Wuku, but it's just, I was using it in my only comp, and it did pop a couple times, which is a big deal because it, probably shoots your time up like a minute, or, like 30 seconds to a minute longer than it should be, which is kind of screws up your average. But otherwise, I really like this cube. It's just the, what do you call it, the internal popping, I really don't like. On to 5x5. This is the MoYu Aochuang, the original Aochuang, I think that's the name. Very smooth. Does catch sometimes, but it's still a very trusty 5x5. Put that back here. This is the QIYI. No, this is not QIYI. This is MoYu. This is my new MoYu Aochuang. I can't say the names. MoYu Aochuang GTS M 5x5. It's a great 5x5. I would recommend this to anyone who wants to get a 5x5 because I love it. Very smooth. Usually falls in place with every turn. So, yeah. I'll put that here. This is my QIYI. It's gotten a little stiffer. Even with lube, I insert lube. It doesn't last normally, but this is my 5x5 before I got my new MoYu. It's still very good. Doesn't catch hardly ever. It's very stable. Doesn't pop, I don't think, ever. So, it's a very good 5x5. 6x6. This is my newest. No, sorry, my second newest. This is the Shadow M by X-Man. It does. The one thing about this compared to the MoYu is that it doesn't catch, but it's easier to lock this one up than the MoYu. MoYu is not as fast, even though it's close, but I guess that's the only downside. It is heavier than the Shadow, which I guess could be a big deal for like one-handed. Sometimes I do one-handed with these cubes, and I can't decide whether I like better. I think I like MoYu because of its harder plastic, I guess you could say. It just feels better in my hand. I think it's slightly bigger. Slightly. Like a millimeter. I'll try to go through a little faster. I kind of started doing review for a while, but this is my QIYI 6x6, good 6x6. I shouldn't go really further, just this is how it turns. It's a bit stiff. This is why I want to do ones. And move on. This is the X-Man Spark 7x7. Excellent magnetic strength, very smooth, very fast. Only time sometimes is that sometimes the magnets seem too strong and I carry another layer with me that I don't want. That's my only complaint, but it's very small too. I thought I wouldn't like it, but I got used to it pretty well. This is my MoYu. The names, Jesus Christ. MoYu Aofu GTS M 7x7. And this is a very stable puzzle, I think. Definitely the most stable 7x7 that I have. Does not really catch, well, sometimes. Very, a little bit in the outer layers sometimes. But, pretty much never. But very good cube. I really can't decide between this and the Spark. This is my old QIYI, whatever the name is, 7x7, Huanglong? No, sorry. This is, no, that's YuXin. This is, Jesus, I can't remember. This is YuXin, sorry. This is my YuXin Huanglong 7x7. I love this, no, I wouldn't say I ever loved this cube. I just thought it was a little better than what I had, which before that was, I think, the no, it wasn't the Shengshou. No, I think it was. No, it wasn't. It was MoYu Aofu GT, which I'm not sure if I actually have here. I'll have to go find it if I don't have it. Oh, here it is. So this is the MoYu Aofu GT. At the time, I was using this when I got that YuXin Huanglong 7x7. The GT was very good cube for a while. Only thing is that it does have its limits. The cutting is not extraordinary. This is MoYu's older 6x6. What's their name? The Aoshi. Only problem with this cube is that you have it off, it might pop very easily. Not very easily, but is able to pop if you have something off. This is my Shengshou 7x7, and it's very stiff, it's very big compared to, say, like, this is the MoYu. Look at the size of that. It didn't really bother me too much, but I noticed it does make a difference when you move down in size, as long as it's not too small. I was able to get sub 5 consistently beginning with this cube, though. This was my main cube after I had my V cube, so it was a big jump in performance, and I just dropped my cube. Let's move on to these. You know my opinion about this if you've seen my videos, the MoYu sub-brand MFJS Cubing Classroom 8x8. It's really, let's just say I'm going to modify this soon. Once I get my magnets, I'm deciding how I'm going to magnetize it, how many magnets I need, what kind of strength I'm going to get. So that's what I've been doing for the past couple days. This is the 9x9 version, which is a little better than the 8x8, but the popping problem's still there, the stickiness of the layers is still there, which I'll try to remedy, but I don't know if I will. I hope they get rid of that. Here. This is the YuXin 8x8. This is my current 8x8. The only thing I really don't like is the slightly big size and this pink. These colors, cotton candy bullcrap. It's just, it makes it really hard to distinguish pink and orange, and I know they discontinued it, so there's no point in complaining. This is the 9x9 version, slightly bigger. I've kind of grown to not like this cube that much. My times have kind of slowed down. I don't know if it's the cube or it's just me. Could be just me, but it's still very stable, smooth turning cube. I would just prefer something better, so I want to practice 9x9 more. Let's move on to Shengshou 9x9. This was my first 9x9, so I kind of had good memories of it, bad memories of it, but was able to get sub 10 with this thing. This This is a Shengshou 8x8. Now, this is a very stiff cube. But, I think I was able to get sub 7 with this first. And obviously it was my first 8x8, because it's the first one out, I think. Done that. Let's move on to 11x11. So, YuXin 11x11. Very good cube. This is the MoYu 15x15 Stickerless. One of the problems I had with the Stickerless version is that the layers seem to still be a little sticky, but it's actually smoother than my black one. Just the reason I don't use it is because exactly this. You have to really work the layers to go straight, or else it will pop pieces out. I'm not sure why this is a problem. It might just be this particular cube that I got. I don't know. But my main is still this black one here. And it doesn't really have that problem. I can really shimmy the layers easy and not have any issues with popping as long as I remember to keep it aligned. This is the MoYu 13x13, 12 inch. Very smooth, very big puzzle. I have heard of the Shengshou 13x13, one of my subscribers told me. Now, Blaze can't remember the exact name, but I love this cube ever since I got it. I think I got it in 2015 or so it's almost 4 years old. Very smooth. Is able to carry pieces over these center pieces on the outside. Otherwise, it's very, very reliable cube. Now, the biggest puzzle I have is 17x17 YuXin Huanglong. It doesn't even fit in the camera. Just a giant mass of a puzzle. But I'm still able to turn it okay. Just not as fast as I prefer. Shit. Alright. Almost crushed that thing. Let's move back to... I have a few cuboids I need to go over. This, I forget the brand. It's got a Z on it though. It's the 2x2x3. This 2x3x3 is really kind of bad. Don't really ever use it. But it's the only 2x2x3 I have. So like I said, I'm going to get some new cuboids in the future. This is my QIYI 3x3x5. I've done solves like this in the past. The cubic version is definitely easier than the proportion version with correct size cubies, but this is definitely easier to solve because you can pretty much see everything go around. You do it like 3x3, it's not going to look like it's shape shifting. So this thing does pop though. This is my QIYI 3x3x7, and this puzzle is terrible. It does pop really easily. Do not like it. You have to solve it really slow. This is the WitEden Super 3x3x8. I don't know why they don't just make a regular cubic 3x3x8, but you see what I mean by that? It does do that. And these can come apart from each other. If you do something like, actually I forget, like that. So you can move these apart, which I'm not going to do right now. What did I do? Okay, there we go. WitEden's 3x3x9. Again, it has the pink. I don't know why. Really don't like pink. But this is the white version, so that might be why. Still stupid. It's very stable. For a puzzle with such thin layers, it's very, very stable. This is the MF8 Petaminx, which I got way a while back, along with the Megaminx. It does turn pretty okay, but you kind of do have to push your finger into the turn. You can't just like flick it really easy. Especially these second layers are terrible. Third layer is alright, but it is a much slower solve than Shengshou's new Petaminx. This is the Skube Ultimate, which is really just a Skube with, I can't remember, you have to, I think these can be flipped or not. Whereas, like these, you have to pretend these are the centers, these are the corners. It's basically the same as a Skube. We have the MF8 Gigaminx, which is really quite stiff. It actually sometimes hurts my fingers, these sharp corners. But, is guaranteed pretty much not to pop at all. So, it's good for that reason. This is the Landlands Cube. Turns well. Centers can pop, but you know, it's good. It's cube. This right here is one of those things that you always get for your birthday. It's like a. This one's interesting though. It wasn't that easy. It's got blocks in it. Let's see if I can angle this. These things you can take out. It's got like, so this is like a 2x4. This is a 1x1. 2x2x4. You basically have to fit these blocks in so that they perfectly fit in the box. And I really don't want to take it apart, so that's all I'm going to show you. These two are, well, this is my black VQ. Really quite loose, actually. It does catch a lot, but this is the original VQ. Actually, not my original. This is this white one's the original. You can tell the stickers are very worn. This is still a good cube. Sometimes I do like to use this, just for fun, really. But this 5x5 does work really well. Actually, let me show you the boxes. My original boxes for that 5x5. Because these, I don't know if everybody's seen this. This is the VQ 5 box for the white one that I got. I have some crap in there. Here's the VQ 6. And the 7. I kept these, I guess just for keepsake. I have black ones too. They actually come in, they came later in these plastic. Oh no, wait, you slide it out, so they're like that. All the rest of them are like that too. Speaking of things I missed over here, I have my Rubik Magic, which I would have to go back and look at how I used to solve it. There's only one solution to this kind of puzzle, but you know, just things like that. You can go like that, and flip backwards. I'm not going to try and scramble it though. So, that's that. It's another one of those birthday toys from Rubik's, the Void puzzle. Really the same thing, but with no centers. So sometimes you can get PLL parity. I haven't found a really good way to fix that, but you know, I don't practice this. It's not really high quality puzzle. This is called a Rubik's Triamid. I have these like pretending they turn, but really the puzzle is these come apart. Even these pieces, oh Jesus, come apart, and they have these individual pieces. You know, I don't know where the piece went, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. Let's see. I have a Haze 7, which was supposed to be magnetic, but it turned out not to be, and I ended up not liking it. So this is a non-magnetic Haze 7, which I don't use much, but it's still smooth. It's just kind of catchy. This is my Shengshou 6x6. Turns pretty well, a bit stiff though. Let's go with this one. This is a white Shengshou 5x5. This is a very smooth puzzle. It's definitely not sluggish still. It's just the reverse cuts, not really. A little bit of cutting. Pretty good cutting, actually. Very loud puzzle, though. Like the 4x4. This is the black version. Not quite as smooth as the white version, but I do tend to like black puzzles better. Megaminxes. This is a Dayan Megaminx. Sticker's missing on that. This is honestly not so easy to turn. It has to be perfectly aligned, and still, it's like catching on I don't know what, but never really liked this puzzle. Oh, this is the MF8 V3, I think. Kind of stiff. The tiles kind of make it grippier, which I like, but still didn't really wow me that much. This is a modded puzzle of mine. I'm trying to remember. This is a Meffert's Megaminx, or is it MF? No, this is Meffert's Megaminx that I had to re-sticker. You can see that I did those by hand. Not that well. I did those by hand, and the silver ones. So the silver, yellow, and pale yellow. I also shaved off these corners here so that I can maybe reverse cut, and it really doesn't that well. So, I mean, it really didn't end up being that great of a puzzle. Oh well. This is my first Pyramorphinx. Not that smooth turning, but I did discover my own method using this one. This is the Mozhi Pyramorphin. Definitely better, smoother. Even cuts a little bit. Not much. But much smoother than what I had. I think these do pop off though. Sometimes. I think this is the Shengshou Pyraminx. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is. Turns well, clicks into place. I use it every once in a while. I'm not really a Pyraminx solver. Just gonna move the camera over here. Okay. This is actually an Eastsheen 2x2. If anyone's heard of Eastsheen, this is an old company back when there were no 6s and 7s. It was only 3, 4, and 5. This one still kind of locks up sometimes, but this was my 2x2 for a while. And then I, got old, so I got this one. But this one, doesn't cut really that well. Hardly at all. But Eastsheen always had like really smooth layers. Good you could say about it, but they tend to overturn like that. This is my Dayan 2x2. I still use this one. I think the version 1. I don't know if it had a little extra name, but there's the Dayan logo. This one I can't really remember what the name of it was. So I bought this at my competition. It's a good 2x2, but it's a little floppy. Let's see. This is an older 3x3 that I have. Still, it's a QIYI. Type A something. One of the pieces I lost. I think it's broken, but this thing doesn't really work anymore. This is a Meffert's tiled 4x4, and I can't turn this one because I have a couple pieces broken, but maybe just this one. but I have a couple more that I can show you that do turn still. This right here is my second ever Rubik's 3x3. Of course, the Rubik's logo is wiped off, but these are orange and these are black. I had to memorize, because I didn't have any extra stickers, what was what, so it did slow my times a bit, but they're still functional. As you can tell, very old. This is one I was using back in 2008, 2009 when I started. However, it's not my first one. This was my first one. I had to be very gentle with it because this whole top layer just comes right out. You can see that. Because this core piece is broken here. But the logo is even still there. This is my very first cube. The whole, this is orange. The whole orange side is gone. And yeah, this is my first cube. The first time I ever solved it was on this cube. I can't remember the name of this thing, but I remember searching. Actually, we were searching on that computer right in the background, which we don't use anymore. I think it's an old Windows 2000, for a better cube to find when I was looking for something I could use other than my Rubik's, I think. This was not the cube. This, like, one of those cubes that overturns, but it's very catchy. This has zero cutting ability. Zero. Okay, maybe it has, like, a tiny bit, but go more than that, doesn't cut. And I think I'll take this off. Show you guys what's in the box. Okay. So these are my old records that I had way back when I started and I first got 6 and 7. Not sure if you can see. Said I had one-handed record, it was 56.05, which is pretty slow for now. Odd cubes record, even cubes record, 2 through 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 2 through 7 relay. So my first 2 through 7 relay was 23 minutes. Sorry, that's not in the frame. My first 7x7 solve was 11:02. My first 6x6 was 7:28, or one of my first was. First 5x5, I think it was more than 3:23. I think this is when I started writing it down. These are very slow times. My 3x3 times are less, they're over 20 seconds. Anyway, that's interesting. This is actually what's left of a Rubik's brand Master Cube, which is the 4x4. That's what they called it, though. Let me find it. There's the logo. Rubik's brand logo. I'm pretty sure I dropped it, but I might have just broke it with just heavy turning. I don't know. This is where I first saw the 4x4, though, on this thing. So that side's somewhere. These are just, this is like a keychain cube. It's got shiny surfaces. I can even one-hand it a little bit. Very stiff though. Here's another one of those things. What the hell's that? That's got a crescent moon, star, and I don't know what that thing is. Sorry. I'm not going to turn this one though. It's a little... I got another one here. Let's see what it is. Looks like little animals. Panda, monkey, and bunny and other stuff. That back. This is one of those very stiff. This is a Disney version You could call it a super cube, you know, you have to match the sides. Not true super cube. Super cube would have the arrows, but I never had one of those. But I kind of like doing super cubes on Gabasoft. This is a destroyed Eastsheen 2x2 that I have. Just put it in a bag, let it sit in the box. Oh, and this is a destroyed Eastsheen 4x4. I'll show you some real ones. I think this 5x5 is very stiff. I mean, delicate. This 4x4. Okay, these two are one of my original. This is an Eastsheen 4x4. I'm not sure if it's going to fall apart on me, but this is very delicate now. I'm not going to turn it. Well, it's very delicate. This is a very delicate cube too. I can't even want to one-hand it, but this is my, I think this might be my second Eastsheen 5x5. Definitely had a white one. I don't remember where that went though. Put those back very carefully. Oh, here's a little message. And we'll move over here. I have, this is just like the whole thing I keep in my room. These are my new Minxes. I did a big unboxing of those, and I've done solves. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and Petaminx. Alright, so I'm going to go through the rest of these puzzles here. I have this is my original MF8 V1, which is the logo still. The logo's on the yellow side. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. This is the V1. The white side is going to pop very easily, but this was an excellent Megaminx back in the day. But it's very prone to popping now. This is another Meffert. It's tiled, but the tile is not smooth. It's got kind of like a rough surface. Cool colors though. I don't really like the brown, but yeah, anyway. This 3x3 Q4U, obviously. I think they call this the Type D. Not sure if I got that right, but you know, black on black, kind of interesting, right? Still turns well. What have I got around here? Alright, this is actually blue, it's not white. Some of the stickers kind of wore off. And still turns okay. I've got a terrible Q4U Gigaminx. You can see it turns very terribly. So I'm not going to do much turning of that thing, but bad one. The white version turns a little bit better, but still pretty bad. A lot of dust on this thing. This is my original Pyraminx. It's got an interesting, like, marbly sound to it. And, oh, it's funny, this is actually kind of orangey. Pale yellow, purple, green. So, different kind of colors. This thing's edges would pop, though, very easily. You can just snap it out. It's held by just a little ridge on both sides, which is not very good. This is the... You can say I replaced some of the pieces with the black version. That's what I had left. So the orange, every side but the blue has some pieces replaced. This white one turns really, really well still. This is the Meffert's white tiled 4x4. I got another one. Like, I forgot I had this. I didn't remember this one. I guess I was given one of these. Another, well, extremely stiff picture 3x3. This is my, it's funny, I don't remember it being this small. My original V-Cube 7 white. And this thing is still great, I honestly, like, still, probably would be fun to solve. It's funny that they made it pillowed when it's only a 7x7, but this is back in the day where this was the biggest cube around. This is the black version. I didn't like the black one as much, but a little more catchy than the white version. Sticker's a little off there too. This is the black, oh sorry, this is white V-Cube 6. I'm definitely not. You can turn, I think, the bottom half, but remember the clickiness? Yeah. This is very, this is not going to want to turn because I'm missing a piece anyway, so. The black V-Cube, I think, was the one I went with. It's got a white piece. Very clicky, though. I think my white was a lot less clicky. And I just popped it, see there? There we go. So I don't play with that anymore. I think this is the picture cube I use the most, but I think this might be the most stiff one I have. My god. I sold this a bunch of times though, you can tell. There's some wear on it. This one I hardly ever used. I don't remember where I got it. Also very stiff. It's got USA, Canada, UK, or Britain, whatever. Other things, France. Some waterway. I have these little Siamese cubes. I remember when I wanted to buy these. They're not that useful. They're just tiny 2x2 double Siamese cube. I have just the 2x2, I mean the 2 version, regular Siamese cube. And I think I have the bigger one. So the 4 of them, it's kind of silly, but I guess I wanted these for, just for the sake it's funny. You know, this whole thing turns. I do have a video back a day of me solving this. This is actually a kind of like a super cube where there's no colors, just arrows. I don't know if you can see all the arrows. This is in a solved state. When it's unsolved, you know, like they'll point in different directions, and I'm not going to scramble it because it's kind of annoying. Just have to, like, there's a lot of pausing solving this thing. My friend made that for me in high school. This is a Rubik's Revolution. It's just a toy, but I got it one of my birthdays or Christmas or whatever. I don't know if it still works. Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't run out of battery. I think that's all I have though. Oh, I have, this is my original stack mat timer. Doesn't work, even if I replace the battery, so it's just, oh yeah, it's just magnetic. This is my current one. I guess that's it. So if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, or, you know, just a bunch of views would be fine. I don't really care about the views, but Um, you want to see my collection? That's my collection. I think that's everything. If you want me to buy the Shengshou 13x13, because I'm not convinced on if I should get it or not, if it's going to be as good or maybe a little better than the MoYu. If it's not going to be better, I don't really want to get it. I'm just going to wait for a better 13x13, but if there's enough interest, I'll definitely get it. I'll review it. I'll probably do a couple solves on it, or maybe just one solve, because it's a 13x13, but I'm considering it. Anyway, that's it. See ya.